This is a Hot Pie Media original.
Hopefully you're game for a good faking your way in story. Never can beat those. Sneaking your way in, faking your way in, pulling it off. This made me laugh. The story came out, I don't know, only a couple days after Texas A&M beat Alabama at home. That was last week, I guess. I watched the game. Huge upset at Kyle Field, but that's not even the good story. I mean, I'm sorry, Aggies. I mean, it's, I guess, good to you. But the better part of the story is the story of Alex Sunderland, who has now done interviews with anybody and everybody. He's sort of became famous unintentionally. Hey, Alex, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, Will.
Okay, so tell everybody what you did and what your story is, because you've been, I read your story at Sports Illustrated's website, right? So you've been interviewed by, I don't know, anybody and everybody.
I was interviewed by Sports Illustrated, by My San Antonio, Laredo Times. They Barstool uploaded my story. Like, it was just
okay. All right. So here you are. You're some dude. Average looking 22. How old are you? 22, I think.
Average looking. What the hell's that?
Sorry. I mean, like, just a run of the mill fan. Like, it's part of the story. Sorry, average.
Absolutely. No,
great looking, ripped 22-year-old guy, Alex. Is there at the A&M game, and tell everybody your story from there and what you did. Okay,
so I go to UTSA in San Antonio, and my friends told me, hey, like, it's gonna be a fun weekend, Alabama, A&M. Let's go to the tailgate. So we went to this tailgate with all my friends, and pretty much all the people that don't really care for the game. They're just there for the experience.
Yeah.
You know, all the environment that's going on. And so I'm at the tailgate, and I find this pass on the ground, and it just says VIP on it. So I pick it up, and it says VIP, A&M versus Alabama, all this, and it looks really official. On the back, there's like a little map, and it says like, hey, come find us. Our tent is right here. And there's like a little map it says Kyle Field, and like, it's right outside. So the pass was for a tailgate. It's not for entrance into the game. It's not for anything regarding the game. It's just for a tailgate. And so I just thought to myself, like, hey, like, it says VIP. Maybe I can get into the game with this. Why not? Like, let's just give it a try. So I started just going to the stadium, and as I'm about to go to security, so I start like recording a little bit with my phone, and I just go up and I just go, oh, VIP, and they're like, come on, all right, you're good, go on in. So I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
So I walked in, just no questions asked. It was halftime. So I didn't know it was halftime, but it was halftime, so there was no one outside. Everyone was like, and the second half was about to start. So I was just able to walk right in. And right when I walked in, I was like, hey, like, that was pretty easy. Like, let's see what else I can do with this. So I was like, and so I was like, why don't I want to go to the nosebleed. I want to go get some good seats. So I'm walking down the stairs going towards like the front of the first row. And I thought to myself, I was like, when I was a senior in high school, I was getting recruited by UTSA to be a kicker. So I was like, I know recruits get invited and they always have like really good seats. I was like, I'm going to say I'm a recruit, because here at A&M, they treat football players and recruits like royalty. So I want to get treated like royalty. So I go up to this usher, excuse me. And so I tell him, hey, like, I'm a recruit. I just got here. I'm lost. It's my first time here. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. He's like, oh, you're a recruit. Yes, yeah. Let me find out for you. So he leaves for a little bit, and then he comes back. And he's like, okay, like, I know where you're supposed to go. Here, just come follow me. So he leads me down to the field. So I start recording again. I'm like, I can't believe I'm on the field. Like, this is insane. And so he's like, okay, you're going to go down this hall to the left, and the recruits are sitting over there. So I was like, okay, cool. So I started going. And I asked another usher one time in the tunnel. I was like, hey, I was told, like, I'm a recruit. They told me to come this way. I'm lost. Like, I was just acting like I didn't know where I was supposed to be. She's like, oh, okay, yeah. Let me go get the the one in charge of that. So she goes and gets he's like an employee, like each football team that was have like this one guy who's just takes care of the recruits, answers any questions, leads them throughout the day, takes care of them, right? So when she goes to go get him, I realized to myself like, damn it, like I'm done. I'm gonna get caught. Like these recruits have been with each other the entire day.
But in addition, they generally kind of know who they're recruiting. Like they don't just go. I mean, they know who's there. Yeah,
exactly. Well, I was just kind of going with the thought of like, since this is a big school, they must get like hundreds and hundreds of recruits every single season. So I was like, maybe they won't like remember me. So I was just like hoping that I was just going with it. I thought to myself, worst case scenario, I get kicked out, I get banned, whatever. Like I don't even go to this school. Like I don't really care. And so as they go and get the guy, and I was like I'm done, game over. Like what do I do? And when he comes up to me, he's like, so you're a recruit? He's like, you're a recruit? And the first thing that came up to me was, I was like, I don't speak English. That's just what I'm gonna do. So I was like, yes, kicker from Mexico. No, recruit. And the guy goes, oh, you're a recruit from Mexico? Yeah, come this way. And so I was like, so he turns around, starts leading me through the tunnel, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening. This is too good to be true. And he just leaves me and gives me a third row seat in the middle of the field. And I'm sitting with all these 5-star recruits.
Yeah.
And and yeah, I was like, so I'm sitting there for the entire second half. I'm talking to these recruits. Like I don't know English. I'm like, yes, I'm from Mexico. I kicker, like all this stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna have fun with this. Like, why not? So I got one of the recruits like, oh, so I asked one of the recruits like, hey, are you gonna come here? All this with my accent, of course. And so I was like, hey, like, are you gonna come here? He's like, oh, I don't know, maybe. Like, what about you? So they asked me, what about you? So I was like, oh, I know, I don't know. Next week I go Clemson. I go Clemson next week. We see. And so I'm like,
yeah. So you're just name dropping all the biggest programs, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay,
so they're like, oh, like who is this guy? This guy's like an insane kicker from Mexico.
From Mexico.
and so yeah. So I was just having fun with it. I'm just having a good time. I'm there. And when the game ends,
but so you're saying you're either chatting with these guys, right? And what, 20 or 30 of them. So you're staying in character the whole time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I stayed in character the entire time. I was like, I'm not risking this. Like this is like insane.
It's a great game too. I mean, it's a great second half of a game.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
what was your name? What did anyone ever ask your name? And what was your name from Mexico? Okay.
No, I mean, my family is from Mexico. Like I'm actually Mexican, so I was just saying my real name, like Alejandro. I would just say my name, like
the great recruit Alejandro. All right.
Exactly.
All right. So it gets better.
And yeah, it does. And so when the game ends, game and field goal, it's crazy. And I see some of the recruits, they jump the wall and start rushing the field. So I was like, oh, I guess we can do this. So I jumped the wall too. I'm like, I rush the field and I'm there. I'm like, it's crazy. Everyone's like, just an insane environment. And then I was like, okay, like I snuck in, got best seats in the house, rushed the field. What else can I do with this pass? So I was like, I'm going to try and get in the locker room. So I was like, I'm a VIP. Like, I'm going to try and get in the locker room. So I find a football player, and I tap him on the shoulder, just the first one I find. Now, and in character, I'm like, mi kicker, recruit. They say locker room, mi kicker. And the guy goes, oh, you're a kicker? I'm a kicker too, but they told you to go to the locker room? I was like, yeah. I was like, yes. And so like, okay, he's like, follow me. So I was like, this is insane. Like, out of like the 120 players, I happen to tap the kicker. He was the backup kicker, so not the one who made the game-winning field goal. And so so he's like, just follow me. So I start walking with him, and we start going towards the tunnel. And I just see like all these cops there, and I was like, ah, dang, like they're stopping all the like the fans from going through because it's only for the players. And so I was like, dang it, like what I, so I just stayed with him, like literally 6 inches behind him. I'm like not letting go of this guy. So we're going, and when the cop like tries to stop me, I just go VIP. He's like, okay, coming through. And I was like, what? Like I just waved it past in his face. Like he's like, all right, you're good. So I'm through. And so then there I record again, and in the video you can see like there's a football player in front of me, and it's just a tunnel. We're running through a tunnel. That's his last name was Bond. I don't remember his first name. We'll call him James. You know, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
And so we're going, and I just walk into the locker room, just like no one ever stopped me. Like I just made my way into the locker room. And so I'm there. I'm like, okay, this is insane. I'm in the Aggie locker room. They just beat Alabama. It's going to be crazy in here. And it was, you know, everyone was like partying. Everyone having a good time. And so then I'm staying with this kicker the entire time. I'm like asking him questions and stuff, just like trying to sound like I'm an actual recruit, trying to figure out like what I want to do with my life. And so then the quarterback comes in. And I recognize he was quarterback because of his number. He was number 10. So I was like, okay, yeah, like, I'm gonna go take a picture with the quarterback. So I go up to him and I was like, hey, me kicker recruit from Mexico, great game. And he turns around and he's like, oh, hablas español. And I was like, sí, tú de dónde eres? And so he's like, oh yes. And so like we started having a conversation in Spanish.
Wow.
I think his parents are from just they're not from Mexico, but like from a Latin American country. So he spoke Spanish. And so we're speaking Spanish. I guess some of the other players didn't know he spoke Spanish, so they were like, "What? Like you speak Spanish?" And so we talked for like like a minute, and then afterwards I'm like, "Hey, let's take a picture." So we take a picture. I took a picture with the quarterback. He's like super chill, super cool. And I go back to the kicker, and I was like, "Hey, like who's the all this still in character?" And I'm like, "Hey, who's the head coach?" I was like, the way I said it, I was like, where's Cabeza, Coach Cabeza, head coach. And so he goes, oh, the head coach, Jimbo. And I was like, yes.
Wait a minute. You're a recruit. Apparently the biggest of big recruits is going to Clemson next. You don't know who the head coach is? Somebody didn't snap to it and go, hey, buddy, you don't know who's recruiting you? Come on, man. I guess not. Yeah, okay. So you're asking who's the head coach? Who's the rich guy over there standing up on the table, right?
Exactly, yeah. And so he's like, oh, he's sitting over there. He's just sitting on like one of the lockers. He was sitting like this, just like his head between his hands. He's like, I guess just absorbing everything that just happened. He just beat Alabama at home, crazy. And so I was like, you know what? I thought to myself, like, I'm gonna go talk to him. I'm gonna go take a picture with this guy. And so I tell the kicker, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to him. He's like, whoa, bro, like, don't, like, not even I talked to him. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, it's fine, whatever. So I go up to him, I tap him on the shoulder. He like looks up, and I was like, hey, coach, great game. Thank you for the experience. Me kicker recruit. Thank you very much for invite. Thank you very much. And so he goes, and he was like, oh yeah, like I'm glad you had a great time. Like, they have a great program here. Great family, great environment. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you really consider it. He's like, this guy's like, I guess, actively recruiting me.
Yeah, he's giving me the pitch, right.
And so and so I just asked him like, hey, family, big fans, picture maybe. And he's like, yeah, of course. So I take yourself really quick, and I was like, thank you very much. He's like, yeah, of course. You like really nice, like
sure,
not mean at all or anything. And so yeah, I took the selfie, and then he had his did like the post game speech. So I got like right in the middle of the huddle. Like I think you can see it on the Aggie football Instagram page. Like there's a video, and you can see me with my cat. I'm like right in the middle of the huddle.
So it's just the biggest upset, one of the biggest upsets in school history. I assume one of the most filmed post game speeches, certainly of his career, and some of the players, of course, are going to have it. The picture's circulating, and somewhere's going to go, well, who's that guy right there? And you're in the middle of it?
I'm in the middle of it, yeah. You can you can see it. I think Sports Illustrated, the still they used for their article is like it's just like the back of my head in the middle of the post game speech. It's like an airplane at me. And it was just me. I was like, I can't believe I'm here. This is crazy. I'm like recording it, and then so yeah, after it ends, everyone's just partying, jumping around, and the kicker is like, hey, like come meet the guy who made the game-winning field goal. So like, okay, yeah. So I go, I meet him. I took a picture with both of them, and I remember in my accent I went like, you guys back up next year for me, like as a joke, saying like they're gonna be my backups, like as a joke. And then I was like, nah, I'm just kidding. And yeah, it was just super cool. Everyone was super nice to me. And then after like 10, 15 minutes, I was like, all right, like I kind of want to go to the bars. Like it's probably gonna be crazy over there. It's gonna be packed with like 106,000 people that just left the stadium. Like they're all gonna be at the bars. And so I was like, there's not really anything else I can do here. So I go up to the two kickers because I kind of felt bad throughout this, and I just lied my way through all this. Like, and so I go up to them and I tell them, like, just so you guys know, like I speak perfect English. Like I'm not a recruit. I'm 22 years old. I go to another college. Like I just found this pass on the ground. Like I just tell them everything, and instead of them being mad, they just start laughing. They're like, "What? Yeah. Like, that's crazy! Like you acted so well. Like I totally believed you." And then one of them asked me, like, "Do you have a YouTube channel?" And I was like, "No, not at all. Like I've never done this in my life. Like this is just the one. Like it just happened, and I just went with it." And yeah, they were cool about it. And then the kicker made a field goal. He just went like, "Hey, I'm glad you had fun. Just don't steal anything." And I was like, "No, yeah, no." Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, and I guess you could. So sooner or later, you got to leave. Or you go to the bar, you get some drinks out of this, or did you ever? I'm sure your buddies are texting you saying, "Hey, man, whatever happened to you?" John McClellan is the co-founder and creator of ATX Hot Sauce, now in all 50 states and several retail outlets as well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to let this social media rock star chef walk us through 4 different sauces, and then I'll taste, and we'll tell everyone why they should buy. You can give the science behind these, and then I'll make the simple recommendation. Go to atxhotsauce.com. All right,
I don't think anybody's heard the website.
Yeah, I know.
By you, Jeff, but it is atxhotsauce.com.
I'll say it 345 times, atxhotsauce.com. So let's do it.
I brought 4 flavors here, and we're going to test your palate today. Okay. And I only brought 4 because I didn't think you could handle 5 or 6.
Yes,
probably a smart move. Yeah. And so the first one we're going to try here, it's called Beet Heat. And just like the name implies, it has beets in it. It's made with red Fresno peppers. Red Fresnos are red peppers that are they're hotter than a jalapeno and a little bit less than a serrano. So not super hot here, just a lot of really good flavor. So we're going to start with this one, and then we're going to move up the chain.
Okay. I've had the Beet Heat, but okay.
Yeah, we're going to try it though.
It goes well with a cab. All right, Jeff's savoring Beet
I'll
Heat.
even do it with you, so that should be all right. Now remember, it is hot sauce.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's hot sauce. Trust me, man.
Wait, is that one hot to you?
No, a little.
Yeah. The great thing with the fermentation process is you get a bunch of the flavor right up front.
Yeah.
And then the heat comes, but then it dissipates pretty quickly, especially with the red Fresnos. You know, this is not a very spicy one, but it is a very tasty one. Goes on great on sandwiches.
Beet Heat.
Beet Heat. B-E-E-T. Heat.
All right. Go to atxhotsauce.com.
That's right.
Are you letting them know they're outside? They can't even get in the game, right? They're out there just probably pounding beers, and you're in there living like royalty.
Exactly. Yeah. So like a lot of them. I mean, when you're there at the tailgates, I guess you really don't take out your phone. So it wasn't until like I got to the bars that like I showed one of them who was like a huge A&M fan. I showed him the selfie with Jimbo. And he's like, "What? What just happened? Like, how'd you do that?" And I was like, "Dude, I snuck in like with this pass." Like, and he's like, "This is crazy." And I went to the after party like an hour later, and everyone that like I knew was coming to me like, "Dude, I just saw your story. Like, this is insane. Like, how'd you do that?" And yeah, like everyone just thought I was. So crazy.
you outed yourself. How long after you were in the locker room did you out your? You know, I know you told the two of the players, and they were cool with it. But how long before you outed yourself?
while I was doing it, I was just uploading like to my story for like, I guess like my friends and like family that like they follow me. So I was just uploading it for them. Like I wasn't trying to like, I wasn't planning at all to do a bar, like a TikTok or anything like that. That wasn't even a plan. I was just doing it for fun, just like to show people like what I was doing. And I remember one of my posts that I uploaded, like one of my stories was pretending to be a recruit, got best seats, getting treated like a VIP. Like that's like the comment I put on my story. And yeah, they just all thought it was crazy. Some of them were saying like, only you, man, like only you could do this. And I was like, I don't know. I was just having fun.
So did you look at your phone while you're, obviously you had your phone out? Were people saying, come on, man, Alex, you can't keep this up? Were people following along? Like even your family, were they following along to your act the whole time?
I FaceTimed my dad. I FaceTimed my dad like while I was in the seats. And I was like, Dad, look where I am. And I just show him and he's like, Alex, what the heck? Like, how did you do that? And I was like, I just found this VIP pass. He was at a dinner party. My mom was in Mexico. She's taking care of my grandma right now. But I FaceTimed them both, and like we're just they're all looking at what I'm doing. They're like, what? Like that's insane. And then my dad was like with one of his friends, and my dad told me that when he hung up, his friend was like, man, like I need someone like that working for me. Someone who's just like who's like not afraid of anything. He can like sell himself. Like he can do so much with that ability. Like, so there's like, it's some people were saying like wow, like my ability is insane, and other people were like, you're a liar. Yeah, you should go to hell. Like all this stuff. It's like,
so from the A&M side, I mean, I know Jimbo Fisher's probably caught up in the moment, but I mean, if you were, you know how this works. The head coach knows who all the recruits are. I mean, that's the head coach's job, is to ultimately offer a scholarship or not offer. Did you get any blowback from the A&M side? I mean, surely he's been asked about the selfie with you.
Well, I mean, if he has, I guess, like, I have not heard from anyone from the A&M side. Only one comment from my TikTok was one of the A&M players, and he's like, man, like, I talked to this guy. Like, his accent was so funny. And yeah, when you clicked on his profile, he was like a verified player from he's like a player from A&M. But that's the only one like I've actually heard of from like the A&M side. Like no one's contacted me, no one's said anything, or at least I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I mean you weren't. I mean there was nothing malicious to it. Like the one guy said, just don't steal some stuff. That's certainly a concern. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. The players think it's funny.
Yeah, of course. Like I mean, I'm pretty sure the players. If they ended up talking about it in the locker room later in the week, I'm pretty sure they just thought it was funny because, like, I mean, I didn't really like. I mean, I guess like I just worked my way through with the pass, and like no one asked any questions.
Do you have do you have the Jimbo Fisher picture of you on your phone?
Yes.
Yeah, hold that up. Let's check that out. I mean, that's a big night, man. That made the guy even more money. All right, let's check it out. Look at that. How about you got like a towel over your? Is that a towel over your shoulder?
Oh yeah, it was just like how A&M has those white towels that they flip around.
And you're supposed to be a 17-year-old recruit from Mexico City. Is that right? Is that your story?
Yeah, I just said I'm a recruit from Mexico. That's all I said. And they believe me.
You got to go to Clemson next and see if you can pull it off. You just got to make the rounds of the best programs in the country with your story, right?
I mean, I feel like some of my friends. The thing about this story that makes it, like, I guess, cool and special is that I didn't forge my pass. I didn't make a fake pass or anything. It was just something I found on the ground, and it just happened. Like, it's not that I was actively trying to sneak in somewhere. It was just the opportunity presented itself. And I was like, let's see what I can do with this. So like, I know people are telling me like, yo, like you should try and sneak in the UT locker room. You should try and do this, like all this stuff. And I was like, I mean, I just found a pass and I just went with it. Like I wasn't like planning on doing everything that happened.
So I'm sure you've done this. Have you wondered what the rest of your night could have been like? I mean, you could have just kept going, right? I mean, they take these guys, you go back over to the department and you walk around, and I think they meet the coach and stuff again. So you could have gone with your recruiting friends. You could have kept the night going.
To be honest, like, I mean, I just wanted to go party, man. Like, that's the only reason I went to A&M. Like, that's the only reason I went to College Station for the weekend. So I was like, okay, like, it's already gonna be super difficult to get in the bars now because it's gonna be packed. I mean, there's only like 5 bars in A&M, and there's 100,000 people leaving the game. They just want it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be packed. So I was like, man, like, all my friends are over there right now. Like, I'm just gonna go. I ended up sneaking in through the back. I snuck in again, like, through the back alley and just like where the bathrooms are. I just snuck into one of the bars, but yeah, no, it was. I didn't really consider just to keep on going with it because I knew they were going to be in the locker room for a while. So I was like, it's going to be too long.
So how long after you posted the pictures, right, with Jimbo Fisher? How long before you started getting contacted by Sports Illustrated and Barstool and all these companies?
So it was. I uploaded it to my story on Instagram and then my story on Snapchat because I know like my high school friends don't really like look on the stories on Instagram. So I uploaded it for them because I know a lot of them go to A&M and stuff. So then one of my friends reached out and he was like, dude, like, this is insane. Like, I was at the game. Hey, you should make a TikTok about this. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think it's that like crazy of a story. He's like, dude, like, this will go mega viral. Like, you should do it. So I was like, okay, like, might as well. So Sunday night, I just grabbed the clips, just put them all together. I trimmed them down a little bit, like, cause the videos usually all of them are like 40 seconds long. So I just put like 5 seconds of each one, and then the voiceover on the TikTok was just one take. I just recorded it really quickly and just uploaded it.
So like along the way, so you get in, then you meet whoever is heading up the recruits and all that. Did your story just sort of pop in your head and that was it, or did you try to plan? Oh man, if I meet someone else, I got to come up with a story. So it just popped into your head.
Yeah, it was just like complete improv, just going with it. Like, I was just saying whatever came to mind. I wasn't like thinking about what could have happened. I was just going with it, just having fun with it. And
surely, as you're walking down to the field, aren't you thinking, wow, that's a pretty lame story. I don't know how many people are going to fall for that.
Like when I rushed the field?
No. So they walk you down the recruits, and all of a sudden now you're standing with these guys. They talk to each other. Oh, okay, I see. What's your longest field? I mean, surely you're thinking, oh, man, this is kind of a lame story. My storyline is kind of lame with all these famous high school players.
I mean, I just didn't really think about it. I just said I was a kicker. No one asked me anything about like my furthest field goal or anything like that. Since I actually was a kicker in high school, I mean, I could have answered that. I would have been like, oh yeah, like my longest in game is 47 yards. My longest in practice is 65 yards. Like I guess I could have said that, but no one ever asked me anything, so I just went with it.
Yeah.
And yes.
So I'm guessing A&M has not made you an offer.
No.
Oh, well, you're in school right now. You're in school. How much school do you have left?
I graduate in December, but okay. I mean, if they wanted me to do my graduate, I can be a graduate school.
That's not a bad idea.
I still have my NCAA eligibility.
That's true. You could be 28 and kicking for the Aggies.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Alex. It's a great story. I don't know if you're obviously not sick of telling the story yet.
I honestly, I was not expecting this to blow up at all. I thought maybe a couple people at A&M would see it. Like this has been insane. When Sports Illustrated reached out and they're like, hey, like, can we do a story about it? I was like, this is insane. Like, I'm like these guys interview like Spurs players, they interview NBA players, like actual athletes, and now they're interviewing some random guy from San Antonio who snuck into a locker room.
Are your parents after all the publicity? Are your parents pretty cool with it? Are they laughing it off still?
My dad at first was laughing it off, and at one point my dad's like, after Sports Illustrated, is like, Alex, dude, dial it back. Like what if someone like tries to hire you and they find this story somewhere and they might say it. And I was like, but Dad, like, it's not like I,
Yeah.
because and he used the example of like what's going on with like all these like head coaches and stuff, how like their emails are getting leaked.
Yeah.
And so I told my dad, those guys were like doing something completely different than what I just snuck in somewhere. Like I didn't really like, it's not like I hurt someone. Like I didn't say something bad, like nothing. Like I was just being myself.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get where you get where he's coming from. You know, could this story, the story is such a big deal that could it follow you in a negative way? Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, he had to finally agree. Yeah, it wasn't malicious. You had a good time.
Yeah, and so now he thinks it's funny, and like he's like, all right, like, and plus it's been a week and a couple. It's been like what 10 days since this happened.
Right.
So I thought maybe okay. I uploaded Sunday, Monday it'd be, you know, sort of popular. Maybe Tuesday people will keep on talking about it and it'll be done. And then Wednesday I got like interviewed, and then Thursday another interview, Friday another interview, and then like I got put on Barstool. Like, it's been
You got to print out that picture though and frame it. I mean, that's got to go in your place.
The Jimbo picture?
Yeah, the Jimbo Fisher. I mean, you looked like you had a tough night already. It looked like you were in the middle of it. You had a towel over your shoulder. Like, you look like an athletic guy. You could pull it off.
I mean, for me personally, like, I don't really care about it. You know, like I'm not like an A&M fan. Like I honestly just going with it, having fun. Like,
no, I'm just saying in general, you have a date over and she says, who's that? Oh, yeah, that's the night I was partying with Jimbo Fisher. Like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I know that the people who liked the story the most were like all my friends who actually go to A&M, and like my brother's friends who graduated from A&M. Like some of them were texting my brother like, yo, like I just saw this on a bunch of message boards. Your brother's insane, like all this stuff. But yeah, no, it was just a fun thing that happened, and yeah, it was cool.
All right, you probably have to get to class or something, or you're late already. Probably a 10 o'clock class.
I'm actually I'm at work right now.
You are? Oh, okay.
Yes,
don't lose that job. They give you a raise because of this?
No.
Oh,
I don't even know if my boss knows about it. I'll ask him about it if he knows of all this thing that happened, because I think his daughters go to A&M, so maybe he'll think it's pretty funny too.
Nobody comes by and says, "Hey, Alex, who are you talking to all the time? What are you on a podcast right now for?" Does nobody ask you what you're doing right now at the office?
No, I told him I was going to take a little break.
All right, man. All right, Alex Sunderland, thanks for doing this. It's funny. It's great. Keep it up.
Thank you so much.
All right.
From the Hot Pie Media Studios in Austin, Texas, it's the Jeff Ward Show. Listen at jeffwardshow.com.